You are now entering the spoiler zone. The following podcast contains explicit plot details and pockets of profanity. You have been warned. The Exton Moss Experiment. Adventures in Wine and Space with Simon Exton and Ken Moss. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the annual Exton Moss Deleted Scenes reel. A bit like thinking you've run out of cash, and then finding 20 quid you'd forgotten about in an old jacket. To start us off, we have the first of two mini-episodes, which were originally produced as a batch of guest slots on another podcast, but which were ultimately not all used. This one looks at the 2003 BBC comedy series Absolute Power, and was recorded on the 6th of April 2020. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Exton Moss Experiment. I'm Ken Moss.
I'm Simon Exton.
Today, Simon, what have we got?
Watching-wise? Watching-wise.
Watching-wise.
That's the whole reason, or a lot of the reason that we're here.
A lot of the reason.
We're going to watch the pilot episode of Absolute Power, which is a TV adaptation of a radio sitcom with Stephen Fry and John Bird. They play a pair of reasonably amoral, very amoral in Stephen Fry's case, PR men who deal with fairly high profile clients, and each episode it's somebody who's ended up in the media for something often fairly horrific that they wheedle their way into getting off the hook. And it's Stephen Fry being arch and slightly camp and terribly, terribly English. Early 2000s, sometime, but I can't remember exactly when. Have you seen this before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it'll be a treat for you then. Before then, what do we have, Spaff?
That is no concern of yours.
Spaff's not interested.
He's not. The tonic screwdriver.
Yeah, he's not interested in the gin, so...
No.
It'd be just you and me for the tonic screwdriver.
What have we got for tonight?
We have Thomas Dakin's Manchester Gin. And this is craft distillery dating back to 1761. And it is made with 11 botanicals, including juniper, orange peel, coriander, angelica, grapefruit, cubebs. No idea what cubebs is.
Not a clue.
Licorice and a hint of red coal.
Red coal?
Coal, C-O-L-E.
Oh, right.
Oh, here we go. There's a note about red coal. It says, in the 18th century, refreshing cordials were infused with locally grown red coal to revive weary travellers on their way to and from London. So it's some kind of 18th century speed.
Groovy biscuits. The orange peel is certainly in there. It tastes like heather.
It's quite peaty.
I'm
not massively keen on this because peaty always makes me think of whiskey, and I'm not a big whiskey fan.
It's
okay.
not unpleasant.
It hits the spot. I wouldn't
gravitate
really
towards
want it to hit it again. This is a 3 for me.
Yeah, I'm hovering between 2 and 3. I think it's a 3 from me as well. It's not bad. It's just one that you'd drink if it was put in front of you. You wouldn't seek it out.
You'd force your way through.
Yeah.
So, drinks in hand, it is time
to open the Black Archive door. This is the repository of all lost film, television and radio from all of history, and we've got access to it. So, what are you going to release to the general public tonight?
I am going to release a sitcom from the 60s. It's a thing called Hugh and I.
Oh, I've been thinking about that, yes.
And it's a sort of classic two-male lead sitcom, which is why Absolute Power made me think of it. It's Terry Scott, I almost said Terry Thomas, Terry Scott and Hugh Lloyd. And it's them as housemates, or I don't think it's housemates, I think it's lodgers together for the first few series. And then for some reason in the final series they end up as spies. It's Hugh and I Spy. They're quite fun. They never set the world on fire. It's not a Strange World of Gurney Slade or an Our House. Have you seen the Strange World of Gurney Slade?
You've sent it me through the post. I've not watched it yet.
It's odd. It's got Annika Wilson.
All right. It will be worth watching then.
And Anthony Newley. It's really quite odd.
Well, the clue's in the title, really, isn't it?
It's in places corridor people level odd.
Oh my god. What were they on in the 60s?
anything they could get hold of.
Alexi Sale once did a sketch about children's TV shows in either Merry-Go-Round or the all-new Alexi Sale show or something like that, where he postulated that TV producers in the 60s and 70s, they were all tail-end Charlie in the Second World War, so they were all suffering from shell shock. And they were walking into the Director General's office saying, I've got an idea for... I'm thinking singing pigs, I'm thinking high squeaky voices. I love it, go away, you made me 400 episodes. And looking at some of this stuff from the 60s and 70s.
Except a lot of the really weird shit wasn't UK. Pinky and Perky weren't English.
Oh, were they not?
No, they're from Czechoslovakia and redubbed. Magic Roundabout was French. Ludwig,
that was the one.
Ludwig is a little bonkers.
It's a crystal egg on wheels, with a man in a deerstalker hat spying on them with binoculars from the bushes. Yeah. Yeah.
And facets of the egg will open up and weird shit will just come out of it, like a trombone or a helicopter or...
Let's not revisit Ludwig.
No, let's do a whole episode on Ludwig.
I don't have access to drugs that are strong enough.
I have gin. Enough gin, Ludwig will be watchable. We've already proved this in the children's TV episode. Just think how entertaining an entire 40-minute episode on Ludwig will be.
It is an aside. My friend's dad, he's got terrible circulation. Appalling. His legs are physically cold all the time. They gave him something called Cape-ache.
Cape-ache, yeah.
And one Christmas, his son-in-law was up. He wanted something for back pain or something. John gave him one of these Cape-ache.
Was he off his face?
He said, I was hallucinating and...
Yeah, can do. It's an opioid. You can hallucinate with any opioid.
Anyway, that story's gone down in history. I've forgotten where I was at now. The Black Archive, right. What am I choosing for tonight? I am choosing Cheggers Plays Pop. There are only a handful missing from the mid-80s. Most of them do survive, but this is something that I was... You look back at it now, and he's dreadful, really. But I've got very fond memories of it as a kid.
And I like Cheggers Plays Pop. And Run Around.
There were a few from that era, and they were all the same vein. I think Hold Tight was another one. And that was with Bob Calogee, for some reason. Pat Sharp did Funhouse, of course. And so
that was a little bit later. A mid-80s thing.
Yeah, we should have been a bit old for by then. And David... What is it?
Cheggers Plays Pop was a late 70s thing, I'm
sure. It ran right through to the mid-80s. It ran for 10 years. What's another one? There was... Is it David Hamilton? Am I misrepresenting that?
What, did he?
Did he? With his... No, Kid Jensen. Was it David Jensen? He did one, and it was like a quiz game show thing. So why have they got all these DJs to do? Anyway.
Was Keith Chegwin originally a DJ? Oh, okay.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware. So yeah.
And he ended up doing was he the Naked Jungle?
That celebrity thing, was that not?
No.
I don't watch any of them, I don't know.
No, it wasn't a celebrity thing. It was like a crystal maze, but all the competitors were stalkers.
Keith Chegwin's red pubes on display. I'll pass on that. Okay, so having escaped the slightly odd Black Archive this week, we shall crack straight on and play episode 1 of series 1 of Absolute Power.
I still like the idea of doing a full Ludwig episode.
So let me get this straight.
By all means.
You are proposing that we replace the House of Lords
That was the brief.
with a travelling second chamber called the Democrabus.
Yes?
Are you completely deranged? Or are you just deliberately taking the piss?
It's a radical solution, I grant you, but it's one that's sure to chime with the electorate. The old farts are always banging on about how they're the defenders of democracy. Well, let's see them get out and meet the people, eh?
And ordinary people will be involved.
They won't actually be involved. No, they won't change anything. But the point is, they'll think they are. Look, if you're still uncertain, do what you always do with your more toxic political proposals. Label it a pilot scheme and start it off in Scotland.
Well, that was the first episode of Absolute Power, the sitcom from 2003 that ran for 2 years, following on from a sitcom on BBC Radio, which I think ran for 3 years. It's the story of a PR agency, Apprentice McCabe, that is run by Stephen Fry and John Bird. And every week there is some celebrity, either real or fictional, who's come into some kind of public relations problem, and they sort it out in their devious and underhand way, not necessarily for the benefit of the client, but always for the benefit of them. So this one is all about a TV historian who has been caught falsifying the documents that he is talking about on telly. They've been carbon dated and found to be forgeries. So there's a lot of finagling, and they decide to take the heat off this. What they're going to do is make out that he's having an affair with Annika Rice, which they do by ambushing her at an award ceremony. So they get a photo of the two of them together, and then there's a faked up sex tape that gets leaked. The historian makes a big dramatic apology in front of the press with his wife, and the wife then just turns around and says, well, I'm not surprised, it's been going on for years, and puts in a whole load more detail, and then disappears off into hiding because she's going to be, her memoirs are going to be very saleable at this point. So throwing the historian under the bus, but making a lot of money out of the wife. There's also a parallel storyline about a Big Brother runner-up who's only famous for getting naked in the shower, who's written a long and tedious novel about growing up in Ireland and being educated by nuns that they try to sell to anybody they can and really have no success. So those are really the two parallel strands running through that episode. I really enjoy this series. You've not seen it before.
No, I haven't.
What did you think?
I did enjoy that. The dialogue is very witty, and I like witty dialogue. Stephen Fry and John Bird are the standout performances throughout because they deliver the lines with such... venom's the wrong word, but it's so sharply done. Those are the laugh-out moments. Every laugh-out-loud moment throughout this was... beyond the periodical interjections from the text, you get sort of a pseudo notepad.
And an ideas board.
And some of those are just ridiculously funny.
Yeah, trying to find titles for this woman's tale of Irish misery. It's a To Be or Not to Be, Sodom and
Gomorrah. Yeah, very well written. But again, this was a period where everything was starting to get buried in a slew of stuff of this ilk. So I suspect this is the sort of thing that was it on BBC 1 or 2, or was it relegated to BBC 3?
BBC 1, I think.
Really?
Well, Stephen Fry's a big name.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean anything now. Big names are just buried on things.
But this is 13 years ago.
I know, but it's
16 years ago.
This is the era when everything starts to change.
Was that a Torchwood quote?
It wasn't, but I think
it is.
No, Everything Changes. That was the title of the first episode, I think. I don't think this is the era when everything started to change. There's too much of a quote, is it?
Well, paraphrasing, at the start of the voiceover from Torchwood.
I have no idea. I've not seen it for years.
The 21st century is when everything changes. And you've got to be ready.
2002.
This is when everything changes. That's Torchwood.
Yeah, that's not what I said, though.
Well, as I say, paraphrase.
2002, 2003, that's when everything starts to push. Fuck off. When everything started to push and you saw advertising boards for BBC programmes, and there was a big push for BBC Online or whatever the hell it was called in those days. And then BBC 3 came in and they started testing.
Generally.
Yes and no. I was quite excited about the BBC around this time because seeing BBC programmes advertised on billboards and I thought, yeah, because I remember seeing, well, Doctor Who, obviously, but things like Auf Wiedersehen Pet and Hustle and Spooks, I think, got a hoarding. And it just gave everything
the
a
online
level.
stuff was generally fairly rubbish.
Yeah, and we've come full circle, and now BBC 3 is completely online, and I wouldn't have a clue what's on it because I never watch it. I used to watch BBC 3, and I would test the water of the new stuff that they were putting on. Now, I wouldn't go near it with a barge pole. I've just not got time for that. This fantasy that there are armies of young people out there that watch everything online, and, well, yeah, they do, but only on iPlayer and Netflix. They don't watch online channels. That's a fantasy.
Yeah, apart from Netflix.
No, they don't watch broadcast stuff online. It just doesn't. What's on BBC Three this week? I just cannot see that conversation going on anywhere in the country.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we were kids, you looked through Radio Times, TV Times, because if you didn't, then you didn't know when things were starting.
Yeah.
If it didn't make the front cover of either the Radio Times or the TV Times, I've no idea if they're still published, to be honest.
Yeah, they both are.
But if you didn't make the front cover of that, then I remember it was Thursday it used to be published.
That's right, yeah.
And we used to go through and we used to mark off the things that we wanted to watch and the new stuff. And if you didn't get both, then you missed stuff.
The most exciting of all was the Christmas Radio Times, when you'd go through with your felt pen and circle films.
And that was always special because it did all the channels.
Yes, it did.
It was only the Christmas ones that did that. And otherwise you had to get Radio Times to get the BBC Times. You had to get TV Times to get the ITV Times.
And your handy guide to over 200 hours of great television on ITV and Channel 4.
TV Times in this week's TV Times.
But dragging it back to absolute power, that was great. A complete Mickey take of PR and the whole office speak and corporate bollocks that goes on. And very well cast. Zoe Telford was in it. I've always had a bit of a thing for her.
And James Lance, who we saw in No Heroics. Mm-hmm. And he was in loads and loads and loads of stuff around this time because he was in the book group, and I love the book group.
We've mentioned this before, that it's one of your go-to things when you're feeling a bit fed up.
That's book group season 1. Book group season 2 turns absolutely everything on its head, and it's cleverly done. But everything that you know about the people from series 1 gets completely turned on its head. It's an interesting way of doing it, but I don't like it as much as a sort of comfort blanket piece of television.
Right.
But when we do the book group, we'll do both seasons and you can see what you think.
But for the most part, I would recommend that. I would like to see more. That was an enjoyable piece of TV, but Stephen Fry and John Bird, you're not going to go a million miles wrong anyway, whatever they're in.
1 minute. He wants to buy British Airways. He has the experience in business and he has the clout. Above all, he has the money. He has so much money.
He's the cousin of the most execrated man on the planet.
We can finesse that, Charles.
42 seconds.
It's not like you to refuse a challenge.
It's very like me, however, not to embrace a gross imbecility on a whim, unless it's my own. Anything else?
Don't you see? All we have to do is change his name. Look, the precedent's right there. That's not Elizabeth Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. That's Betty Windsor, bless her.
Actually, it's Charles Darwin. Commonly made mistake, probably with a beard.
Please, sort Princess Mickey out and shoot straight down to the Savoy. Just meet this guy. He's got something about him.
Semtex, probably. And your minute is up.
So with that, we shall sign off. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If not, we can only apologise. It was our fault. And we'll be back again shortly.
Yeah. And it's goodbye from the three of us. Say goodbye, Spaff.
No.
Oh, he's sulking.
Bye now.
Goodbye.
In October 2022, we recorded an episode on Triangle with Rob Hardy and Jonathan Welford from the Antique Dust podcast. So naturally, we waited 3 years before finally getting around to releasing it. It was a lot of fun to record, but conversation frequently strayed off topic, and so we ended up with around 10 minutes of trims, which are presented here for you to enjoy.
Rob, do you want to pour for us?
All right.
We are ready to pour. We have Free Wren's Gin, which is a brewery which is very close to us.
I'm free pouring. I think I might have been a bit generous there.
Oh, that's fabulous. And I've got a slice of orange in mine, which is very delicious, which we freeze. We freeze slices of orange and come specially out. So. Okay, the ice has got stuck together. We had a defrosting freezer accident. So, and all the time.
I'll pour the tonic. It's not very fizzy, but never mind.
And can you hear all the delightful winking and the bubbles? It's very effervescent.
Effervescent? What sort of... It's a word that's not used often enough.
Oh, we don't often get a step-by-step of making.
Frozen orange slices. That's one step up from us, gents. We just slosh into a glass with tonic and ice, but you're actually making it sound far more professional than we do.
Cultured.
Yes. So we are sort of professional alcoholic sort of things. We are doing our wine exams. So we've done our wine and spirit exams, and we're doing what's called the WSET3, and we have just taken delivery of our 150-bottle wine fridge, which we've called Narnia, because it looks like a wardrobe.
No, it looks like a coffin, actually.
It took 4 people to move it into our garage. And now we're filling it up for study aids for our wine exams.
Ah, yes. Study aid.
So we can watch lots of Triangle and we will enjoy every moment of it after a couple of bottles.
Probably the best way to do it. See also El Dorado.
I love time.
Oh, El Dorado is that is such a time sink. It's not true. We were going to do an episode of it. Well, we did an episode of it, but Ken deleted it.
I didn't delete it. It just...
You fucked up the recording. I was being polite.
It got lost in a hard drive crash. It happens. Happens to a lot of guys.
Potato.
So did you watch the first 3 episodes or did you watch a random selection of episodes?
No, we watched the first 4 episodes.
Right. That's where people were actually trying to work out how to act. Because they did actually have some actors in it that they just literally picked off the street.
Well, as I intimated at the time, they've spent all the money on the title sequence and the airfares and then realised that they haven't bought any actors. Be gone with you.
Well, I think
escape while you
actors are
can.
totally overrated in soap operas.
Well, I'd say one of the actors that was in it, I can't remember her name, but I went to drama school with her, but she was at drama school 5 years after El Dorado.
All right. Is that shutting the stable door after the horse?
El Dorado only went for 1 year. But it had
But it was a glorious year.
It was a very, well, I really got into El Dorado. It was, the first couple of months was a little bit clunky because they have people speaking in foreign tongues. And at 7 o'clock, when people are home from work, they're trying to sort of wrestle with their TV dinner on the lap.
Yeah. Trying to open up 3 bento steak and kidney peppers. Yeah.
So it's like watching one of those Scandi noir things.
You always fall asleep.
Well, if it's late at night and I've had alcohol, I say it's like reading a bedtime book. Even if there's a murder involved, there's a corpse on the floor, I'm still fast asleep after about 5 minutes.
Anyway, Triangle. We're spending enough money on gin without wanting to adulterate it with additional flavour.
With cordial.
With Vimto.
No, it's very delicious, and I think after a few more glasses of this, I'll want to watch another 10 episodes of Triangle. No, it's delicious. Are you firm gin drinkers, the two of you?
Oh, my goodness me. We're lightweights, really. We've only been drinking professionally for about 17 years. Yeah.
Well, you speak for yourself.
What are you going for this time, Dr. Exton?
I've forgotten.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, I'd like to say we're better prepared than this usually, gent.
Yeah, I got all excited talking about Cat's Eyes, and the thing that I was going to rescue has kind of gone out of my head.
We shop at Aldi. We have been a complete convert to Aldi. When we lived in Berlin, our house, Claudia, everywhere she moved, it was like a cloud arrived. And all the housemates were like, oh my God, we just realised what you're saying. She's like cloudy. But she always went to this like green shop with like, you buy a banana and a thumb, and it was like €100. And then we discovered Aldi. And Aldi is amazing. I mean, the one in Manchester was a bit of a nightmare because you could buy like a toilet set and a sink in the centre aisle. But in Nantwich, it's great. The wine selection is fabulous.
Oh, Aldi Centre Aisle is a thing of joy.
It's a roulette. What are we going to buy that we don't need today?
What wildly entertaining shit do they have in there that I can put into a Christmas stocking?
Yeah.
Aldi Central Art is the generation game. Where you get public toy, home trolley, you get a chainsaw, hedge trimmers, downstairs
fondue set.
Scuba gear,
I do like a nice fondue set.
Amazing. What wouldn't you want to pick up as a random purchase? Well, I have no idea what we're going to weld, but it's in the garage. But no, Aldi, we are complete Aldi boys.
Aldi's gin is lovely.
Oh, Aldi, yeah.
Blue topaz, absolutely gorgeous.
It won awards last year. The Aldi gin won awards. The London gin is just phenomenal. And it's £10 for a litre, which is fantastic. It's £10 for a litre.
Really?
Yeah. It's really...
That sounds very
obviously, it's like free range gin is like really hugely expensive, but it is very delicious. But the standard sundowner on a weekday.
Jonathan, we do not drink gin on a weekday.
Why?
Much.
Amateur.
No, actually, we restrict ourselves to alcohol consumption
When there's a Y in the D.
There's a Y in the D. We don't have it. We have in it. We have some. So yesterday we went away. I got chatting with our dental receptionist, so we ended up going out drinking with her and her husband yesterday. And we ended up with 4 bottles of wine, which is actually very, very lovely. But that's not Nantwich for you, because everyone's sort of like functioning alcoholics. It's just...
Well, everyone we know.
Yeah. We went to
I quite like Nantwich.
Which I look, Nantwich, they say, is just like the centre of the universe. Admittedly, it's not the centre of Nantwich. You can actually see other counties from Nantwich. You can see Shropshire and Wales.
Other counties? Other counties?
You can see Staffordshire. We're quite close to Staffordshire. I do a little bit of business in Staffordshire. So,
but not too much you can handle it.
I live in Staffordshire. It's very nice. And I used to go to Nantwich quite often.
Listen, the last time I went into a Waitrose was about 5 years ago. We had an incendiary summer. The tarmac on the roads was like fudge. It was that hot. I went into Waitrose for a carton of apple juice, and for a very long time I was a landscape gardener. I'd gone in my works gear, and everybody thought I was going to stab them in the face because they were all there in the middle of July in 40-degree heat with feather boas and fur coats and hats on, buying whatever the fuck they buy in Waitrose, looking down on this.
If you are a landscape gardener in Waitrose in Sandbach, which is our local one, people would be like clawing at your transit van, asking you to their garden, trying to find a decent gardener in Cheshire is a frigging nightmare.
You make it sound like The Walking Dead.
No, it is. We're trying to find a decent gardener. You get someone that comes out with an electric mower asking to plug in to do the lawn.
What?
Really? No.
I'm in the wrong county.
Tell me about it.
Well, I was in the wrong county.
Which county are you?
I'm in Lancashire, so I'm only next door, really. But I know, but I did it for 18 years. I got tired of being either baked alive, pissed on, or frozen to death every other day. It was the novelty wore off after 18 years, so now I work at the courts.
Okay, just roll back to the pissed on and describe that.
Well, it's a lovely story that I'll save for another time.
Small talk, so you're like next door to Yorkshire sort of thing. So is it like a cow piss or is it horse piss?
Or anything I can get, love. I'm not fussy. I'll get my rocks off whatever I can get. We're not fussy here in Lancashire. There's a bag of chips in it for you if you'll piss on me, love. Can we drag this?
Do you think he's joking?
Can we?
That was really the question I was asking.
Oh. Yes. Anyway, it's a pity that I didn't have this information about 10 years ago, because I would have fucked off to Cheshire with fulsome glee. In March 2024, we recorded Doomwatch with Joe Ford, and again, this wasn't released for over a year. No particular reason, just because our release schedule is a bit erratic. Conversation flowed very easily, and it was all good material, but in order to tighten up the episode, I made quite a few large edits. I think first things first, though, we need a little drinky.
Well, before that, we need to introduce our guest.
We'll do that in the viewing room. It'll edit better.
Okay.
Because otherwise poor Joe's not going to have a drink. Or go to the Black Archive.
This is great. Oh, I've never heard this live before. Go on, keep going.
Diamond, you know, I've failed all of my science, GCSEs even. So the fact that we're even having a conversation right now is stunning. Honestly, Doctor Who, it's the great, it brings people together, doesn't it?
Whereas I took a giant step back from as much arts as I could, as early as I could, in favour of science. I mean, I date back to O-levels, but I didn't do geography, I didn't do history, partly because I hated the teachers, but mainly because I just wanted to concentrate on maths and science and languages, and that was the cost of doing that. So,
just one last. Sorry, go on. Sorry, Joe. After you.
Well, no, I was just going to compliment him and say that's why he's such an interesting fellow. Sorry, please continue.
No, not at all. I was just going to say about Finish Big, actually, because you are going through my personal golden age at the minute. At the time of recording, you're sort of in the mid-50s. You've not quite got to the mid-50s, have you?
No, we're approaching the greyest now.
Oh, my.
So I'm aware we're about to go over a cliff.
Yes, it does sort of... It peters off for a while after that. But I've listened to all your Finish Big, even if I've not heard the range. I'm fascinated by the sound of the Judge Dredd stuff. And the journey of the Bernice audios, that sounds riveting.
Yeah, it really is. But the Bernice ones, that's sort of that character taking place over, 16, 17 seasons now, over 20 years. and then factoring in other mediums as well, I don't think there's another character that's had that sort of attention, and wealth of storytelling. And that's a good example of what I was talking about earlier about where the sort of the new meat goes on these sort of spin-off ranges. And a lot of the reason why the Beneath stuff is so good is because it is people with fresh sort of new ideas coming in and writing those stories. And what was the other one you said? Judge Dredd. Oh man, Ken, you got to listen to that. Are you a fan of Judge Dredd?
I don't know a thing about it. I saw the film in the 90s, and I know that was ripped apart by Judge Dredd fans because he takes his helmet off. Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
But I remember going to the cinema and watching that and really enjoying it. And I've never seen it since, but it just sounds that whole sort of, not film noir, but that comic book world.
Yeah, it's a crazy comic book world, but because it sort of wasn't getting the sales, they were sort of left alone. And so part of it's sort of improvised as well. And they're just sort of making up crazy, quirky locations, madcap characters, insane situations. It's really fun. And it's risky as well. It's edgy, which is what I like about it, in a way that, now everything Big Finish does heads through Cardiff. Nothing's edgy at all. So that's what I love about that range. It's a bit different.
Because you're just about to do Flip Flop, aren't you, at the time of recording?
We've actually recorded Flip Flop already.
We were discussing this yesterday, and I don't know what your comments are yet, but I don't think they'd go anywhere near that now. They would be ripped apart. I can't believe that it's never been...
What would possibly upset people about that now?
I can't
Asylum
imagine.
Seekers coming along and, taking over the rights of an entire planet and murdering everybody. I can't see there's anything to be upset about there.
No, there's no way that they would get away with this now. You've also got the Rapture coming up, haven't you? Have you done the Rapture?
Oh, no, I've done the Rapture. That was
I love
really
the Rapture.
terrible.
Sorry. No, it's fine. There are lots of things that I like that I don't expect other people to like. You may have heard of a little thing called the Corridor People.
Oh, God, he's off into the air raid shelter. He's got his tin hat on.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard your episode on it a couple of times. And every time I'm like, I must watch this.
I don't criticise Ken for being wrong about disliking the Corridor People.
You might criticise me by the end of this call, I'll tell you.
There was one final thing that I wanted to bounce past you while we were talking about Big Finish. Have you heard their Avengers stuff?
No, not yet.
It's brilliant because they reconstructed all the missing first season Avengers episodes, and they did a fantastic job of it. And they've reconstructed some of them without a script, so they've made their own script based on the surviving visual material, telling snaps if they've got them. And there was one of the episodes that they did their reconstruction, no surviving script, so they came up with their plot, and then the episode was recovered. So you could see what the Big Finish writers came up with and what the original televised version was.
Wow. How far out were they?
Oh, miles out. But their story was much better than the televised one. It was a much, much better script. Now, the televised one, and it's a thing called The Tunnel of Fear, it's not a good Avengers episode, but it's a good Big Finish episode. And what I would love to see them do is things like Callan, things like Adam Adamant Lives, where they've got an established cast to recreate the missing episodes. Not come up with new stuff, because that was a disaster with Adam Adamant Lives, but to recreate the missing episodes and give it the Avengers treatment. And they could do that.
There are missing episodes of Doomwatch, aren't there?
There are, yes.
And are the cast still with us?
No, they're all gone now.
Gene Trent is still around, pretty sure.
Well, Robert Powell still is, but he's, spoiler coming up. Well, there wouldn't be much point bringing Robert Powell back, would there?
There are missing first season episodes.
Yeah.
I was going to say one more thing, because we're telling you, this is becoming a Big Finish podcast now, isn't it? What you said there about the Avengers is like when they did their last stories. The ones they did were the scripts that were ready and good to go for the original season 23, Mission to Magnus and The Nightmare Fair, were fucking tedious. Oh, sorry, can I swear on this thing?
Oh, yeah. A good brief.
Whereas the ones they did where they had a half-page synopsis, like the William Marlowe one, where they could just write a whole script and kind of do it their way, they were brilliant. So sometimes they get it right.
Well, people go on about Terry Nation selling the same script over and over and over to the BBC. Philip Martin got away with that quite handsomely.
He did. And he even managed to the same script to be finished.
Big Finish. What was it? The Twilight Kingdom? Was that one of those?
No, Creed of the Cromon.
Oh, Creed of the Cromon. That was it, yes.
Yeah.
We've heard this before several times now, and then season 23 comes out and we're hearing it again.
And then he did it again, Antidote to Oblivion, with the Sixth Doctor and Flip and Seal. Yeah, it was the same ruddy script again.
Do you know, I've heard that recently, because I've had it for years. I can't understand why I've never heard it, but I'm just ploughing through the trilogies now in the car. Antidote to Oblivion, I actually really enjoyed. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Although some of the ones that came immediately after it, Tomb Ship and Moonflesh.
Oh, my word, yeah. Oral Wallpaper.
They were dreadful. What the hell's going on? And what was the one with the Steamroller Man? Masquerade. Oh, I can't.
The soundtracks are very useful, though, Ken.
When you get to those, I'm waiting for the shredding to begin. Dr. Exton, what's this one about?
It's about 50 minutes.
I could have got a synopsis up, but that would have involved actually being prepared.
Joe, would you like to do any of the synopses, or are you happy to
No,
go
on. No, absolutely fine. No, off you go.
Well, Ken's about to bring one.
I'm just about to bring it up. I usually do this show.
Well, I don't have a synopsis in front of me. If I do, I could do one, but where do I find it?
I'm just about to find them now. That just typing in Doomwatch list of episodes. Here we go. There we go. Faithful IMDb.
I usually just make it up.
Yes, I know. I like to be concise. Here we go. A plane dissolves.
Cheeky.
There's not enough tape on the internet to record. A plane.
You know that the internet doesn't use tape.
I like to pretend it does.
There isn't a button in somebody's office either.
Excuse me. Back in the 70s, in the Doomwatch time, the internet was a load of tape spools, wasn't it?
Oh, it was telex in
Okay,
those
fair
days.
point.
God bless them. We love a good title sequence here.
They knew how to do a theme in the 70s.
Oh,
didn't
yes. 70s into the 80s.
Survivors, Blake 7. I mean, amazing.
Well, we've discussed this before, and Simon, the analogy you always give is Star Trek themes. They've gradually, over time, got more and more.
Got worse.
Themes and...
Commercialised.
Well, just bland. They get more and more and more bland as you go through, and more and more forgettable, because the 1960s Star Trek theme is just astounding. And particularly once they get to the second version of it, where they put all that wordless vocals. The title sequence is fast-paced and it's dynamic and it works brilliantly well. And the title sequences, as things have gone forward, have just got duller and duller and duller. Special effects might be very impressive, and Next Generation was sort of following the Enterprise through the solar system, wasn't it? And it's very well done. It looks very technically competent, but it's dull.
Well, it's the same shot over and over again. And you
then
know, I
get
do
to
think
Enterprise.
like
Oh my god.
Yeah, that theme tune. It's been a long time getting from there to here.
That was my wedding song.
Was it?
Yeah.
What, for real?
No, absolutely for real. Alan loves it beyond measure, and that was our walk into the registry office song. And
Simon, can I please, next time I do an Enterprise episode on Untitled Star Trek project, do you give me your permission to actually bring out that bit of trivia?
Yeah, of course. And I had my choice of music walking out, and we had, I think, 4 songs in the middle while we were doing photos and signing things. And
can I ask, when you walked out, was it the Doomwatch theme? Da, 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 da.
It wasn't. It was by a band that I will be utterly amazed if anybody has ever heard of, because they're very obscure German band called Dark Orange.
Oh, no, I've never heard of it. I mean, weddings are pretty apocalyptic, aren't they? And marriages themselves. So the Doomwatch theme would be pretty appropriate.
Well, we did have Ken try and break the desk at the registrar's office by plastering himself across it for photos.
I'm not at all surprised.
That does exist. It is out there.
All of our wedding photos, because we only had about a dozen people at our wedding, and we gave everybody umbrellas because it was Birmingham in November, and we thought it's a good chance it's going to chuck it down. And so we gave people rainbow umbrellas. And then we went out and took photos, and everybody was flailing about with these umbrellas. And we got some amazing photos of people just twirling umbrellas and hiding behind them and things. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now look here, Ken, if this don't make it into our episode, this better make it into your bits and bobs cart. Great story.
We also recorded an episode of the Archive of Audio Antiquities with Joe and his partner Mark Rawlins. In this edition, we skewered the Redux re-release of the Doctor Who audio play The Sirens of Time, and had a rambling chat about Big Finish in general. Here is a 5-minute segment excised purely to keep the episode on topic.
Oh, we were savage. Great.
That will be superb.
Quite as savage as your Debt Send one, or your
God.
the Rob Time one. What was it?
Lovecraft.
Lovecraft.
That was.
We fucking hated Lovecraft. It's such a shame, because I think underneath that, there was quite a good story if Big Finish hadn't gone back. Oh,
They
God.
wanted to tell that story originally, didn't they?
To be honest, having read Lovecraft, I think it was an unmakeable story because the horror of Lovecraft, and particularly around the Shoggoths and everything, is so tied into the inhuman sounds and cries that turn you mad and things. I don't think it is realistically translatable to audio, even if you have people who know what they're doing.
And even given they do aim sometimes at a more adult audience, Big Finish, less so now, they did at the start. Like, I don't think Cardiff would let them put out something truly, horrific on the ears. Like, that should be.
Yeah. Well, Guillermo del Toro didn't think that Lovecraft was filmable. And that's Guillermo del Toro.
Well, Rob Valentine certainly had a go.
What was that? Lurkers at Sunrise.
Sunrise Edge, yeah.
That was supposed to be a bit like that, but not really.
Wow.
I mean, I really hate having a downer on it, but those main range towards the end, they were really hard going.
I thought in the last in the last 50, there was half of them at least were worth listening to. There were still duds, but they started pulling together the Fifth Doctor stuff. Some of the Sixth Doctor stuff was pretty good. The Seventh Doctor stuff was just terrible.
It felt like they were concentrating on the box sets, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the main range is still coming out," and maybe they should have finished it a bit earlier.
Well, I've still not heard. It's probably about the last 20 or 30 of the main range. And I really should get around to it, because the main range, that was where I fell in love with them. But I don't know whether it's by accident or design, but when Nick Briggs took over as producer from Gary Russell, dropped off a cliff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
does.
Well, until they got the trilogies, and then I thought they had
And then it goes
a couple of
starts to go
years with the trilogies,
Yeah.
which was good, and then it was getting...
That hungover bit was really terrible.
It was like all the sweepings. Just we got a 3-parter and a 1-parter and a couple of 2-parters and a 4. Didn't know where they were going with this. And
He started writing out, didn't he? Eremim and all the characters that they'd nurtured.
although, in fairness, I thought Absolution and The Girl Who Never Was were actually really good stories.
Oh, actually, The Condemned is around that time as well. I love that. Yeah.
Which was Life on Mars, basically.
Yeah, it starts to get better, a little bit better after that.
You better hope so. We're nearly there.
And did anybody ever think that there would be a point where people were saying Gary Russell was the talented one?
Who knew, eh? Who knew? No, I was going to say, at least Russell, when he oversaw Big Finish with the, I'm not just going to make Doctor Who that I would want to listen to, I'm going to try everything and offer people lots of stuff that I wouldn't want to listen to. Whereas Briggs absolutely puts out stuff he wants to listen to, which is why we've had Death to the Daleks, the sequel, for the 15th time.
I can't wait until you get to Renaissance of the Daleks, because I fucking hate that. Every time I look at it on the shelf, I think, it can't be that bad.
It's not that bad. It's
not dreadful. Oh, God.
That's going to be tough.
It bored the arse off me. That was so dull.
Like, you get Son of a Dragon in that first 10 that Briggs
That's
does,
great.
and that's a brilliant story. Yeah.
And it's not called Endurance. What's it called? Where they find the Seventh Doctor frozen in a block of ice.
Oh, Frozen Time.
Frozen Time, yes. Endurance was the original audio-visuals version, which is referenced in that. But there were the odd gems, but most of them, I'm afraid, because it got to a point where they were coming through the door and they were just going on the shelf, unlistened to.
Sometimes I look at those shelves, and I think to myself, my God, we're only on the 3rd shelf. Jesus Christ. And trust me, there's about 25 shelves.
And you're only 5 years in, right? Is it 2004? Yeah, I think you just got there, haven't you?
We had a big break. There was like a 6-month break between the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So we've sped up a bit.
Well, you were moving in then, there was a lot going on.
Yeah. We have
the first couple, we were remote. You were so cold.
Yeah. So we're speeding up. We're getting there.
I did notice that you stopped doing the actor count fairly early on when you realised that Nick Briggs was in 20 times an episode.
I kept forgetting to do it, and then it got to a point where I was like, I'm going to have to go back. And yeah.
It's too late now.
No, I can start. I keep meaning to do that.
Even you haven't got the patience for that,
I don't
surely.
think it'll take long.
Going through all those actors.
I mean, how many times was Nick Briggs in this fucking thing? He even went back and re-recorded lines that were other people as himself. Oh, God.
It'll be Beth Chalmers, Sophie Aldred,
Helen Goldwyn,
Briggs. Who else would be
Yeah,
like
Helen Goldwyn, yeah.
Helen Goldwyn,
Mm.
Jeremy James. He's in there a
he's
lot
done
in the
a
first
lot,
couple of years. People like that. Mark Gatiss.
Yeah.
People like that.
Hamster with a Blunt Penknife celebrated a milestone in 2025, and we recorded our congratulations, which were included in the 1000th episode spectacular. Hello and welcome to
Experiment with a Blunt Penknife.
the Doctor Who crossover podcast.
I'm Simon Exton.
And I'm Ken Moss.
We rejoin the hamster as Joe Ford is herding cats.
Simon Exton is handling a big mic.
And Ken Moss is struggling with a huge download.
Congratulations, Joe, on 1000 episodes of Hamster with a Blunt Penknife.
And here's to the next 1000.
Cheers! In August, we celebrated our 7th anniversary and watched the whole of Blake 7 Series A. Due to time constraints, we ended up recording this over 2 sessions and getting far more than we needed in the can. Never wants to waste decent material, here are all the bits that we didn't use. Here we are back in the viewing room, and without further ado, we are going to watch 4 episodes,
5
at the very least, of Blake 7 Series 1, or as the fans would probably prefer to call it, Season A, or Series A.
Perhaps because that's what all the paperwork at the BBC had it down as.
Exactly, although the marketing department would prefer to call it Series 1 on the splendid Blu-ray version that's just been released.
And this, well, it was released quite a while ago, but this week we have had the announcement. Happy days, Blu-ray Season 2.
Would you, Adam, and believe it?
I mean, by the time you listen to this, this will be a large number of months in the past, because we're recording this in
February.
March. Today's the 1st of March. Orientation. It's kind of important. And this won't be released until August, because we're doing this as our 7-year anniversary.
How lovely. I have not seen this.
Despite the fact that Edit Monkey is wildly efficient and releases everything that we've recorded within minutes.
He doesn't.
No,
I
don't.
have
Everybody
not.
knows you don't.
I have not seen this in 30 years. I am wildly excited about it. I am going to shut Dr. Exton up before he can
You want to bet?
fill any more airtime. It is time for the way back. Run VT.
The Exton Moss experiment. And all you do is get in their way. Poor Exton Moss fans who are there with bated breath for our insightful insights. Just like that.
Shut up. Run VT. Well, it's our anniversary. Let's go into the Imaginarium and see what we conjure up.
Go ahead. What has your fevered little mind come up with?
My dip into the Imaginarium this time is going to be Series 4 of a series that isn't particularly beloved called Chef. It was written by Peter Tilbury, who wrote the first 3 series. It starred Lenny Henry. The first 2 series were all done on film, and the 3rd series was done on videotape in studio and was a complete disaster as far as I'm concerned. It lost all of the charm and class of the first 2 series. It shifted its emphasis away from the food and became focused on relationships and interpersonal dramas, which were a far cry from what the premise of the sitcom was originally about. But I know that Peter Tilbury did start work on the 4th series. I'm really very fond of it as a concept. It would have been nice to see what happened. That is my Imaginarium bid. Yourself?
I'm going to go for an absolutely joyous and seminal programme from the 1960s that I'd like to see a 2nd series of.
Oh, no.
Woefully cut short.
Hell.
One of the most astoundingly stylish and stunning women that ever graced the screen. I would love to see The Champions Season 2. Yeah, fuck it. You thought I was going to say The Corridor People. No.
Champions only had 1 season.
Yes, I would love to see more episodes of The Champions. I love it beyond measure. It is my favourite ITC series. It is one of my earliest memories of television as a child. I would like to see more episodes of The Champions because the 26 we have are not enough.
I am staggered. I thought that was 2 seasons.
Nope.
I heartily concur.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like to see more episodes of The Corridor. Let's not beat around the bush about that one. But my pick for the Imaginarium is The Champion Season 2.
So, we are back in the viewing room, and it is genuinely time this time. We have watched the whole of Series A of Blake 7. Really enjoyed this. We were planning to watch just 4 episodes. Pick 4, go through it, and focus on those. I very quickly decided that I wanted to enjoy the whole thing and do a complete overview. I'm really glad I asked for it. Ron VT. Episode 156 was a review of That Was the Week That Was, in tribute to the musical humorist Tom Lehrer, who had died shortly before recording. And Dr. Exton couldn't resist a playful dig at my somewhat untimely approach to releasing memorials. Dr. Exton, we have a reason for watching this. Why are we doing it?
We are doing it because recently...
This is the Exton Moss experiment, defined recently.
For us recording here, it's been within the last geological eon, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's when you'll get round to editing it. It's within the last few days. And any delay that this has between release and then is entirely down to Ken.
Episode 158 was a delayed release of a Peggy Mount Calamity Hour discussion about Dungeons & Dragons and Mr. and Mrs., recorded in June 2022. To give a little bit of technical background, we usually record all vocal tracks separately for better audio quality. But in this instance, someone recorded all the tracks as one mixed file. Spin forward 3 years, and with a bit of judicious editing and a lot of goodwill on their part, we were able to piece together something that could actually be put out. The Peggy Mount boys were kind enough to give us the finished article, and here is their original intro.
Are you all right? Now, here's some news that's as surprising to me as the last time I got me nipples caught in the mangle.
He's not wrong, and he hasn't even got a mangle.
So, nigh on 3 years ago, we, at the Peggy Mount Calamity Hour, recorded an episode with those lovely lads over at the Exton Moss Experiment.
All went well, opinions were vented, much booze was consumed, and a fully recorded show was stored away in pod producer Ken's shiny Perspex cassette box.
However, some weeks later, it transpired that producer Ken lost the tape.
Was it on the bus home? Was it in the dairy section of Farm Foods?
No, it was wrapped in a bread bag.
In the cistern of the gents' toilet in the Buffs Club.
I don't even want to know the preceding events. What matters most is that we've got the recording, which means that you, dear listener, get to hear it at last. It's not 100% in audio quality, but...
the profanity is as bold as it fucking well ought to be.
The drinking is 11 out of 10.
And if any of that factual information given is actually correct, I'll visit the set of Playdays and kick the Y-bird up the jank until it ignites.
Hard.
Paul Owls Rush joined us for our episode on Coronation Street in the 1960s, and there are a couple of brief trims which I've kept purely because I like them. That's not going to cut well at all, bear with me. I shall press play on the DVD player and we shall...
Journey back to 1960.
Yeah, I suppose it would help if we... Yeah, we'll do that afterwards, yes. And this is the one where... Is it, or is it the one where Martha Longhurst dies? Which one came first?
I don't know. You're the one that looked at the episode list.
I think it's Martha Longhurst next.
It's all very chicken and egg.
All episodes of the Exton Moss Experiment, the Archive of Audio Antiquities, the Tonic Screwdriver, Kinky Boots and 9 Bob Note are also uploaded to the Maverick Productions channel on YouTube. Now, it can't be denied that occasionally we have the odd strong opinion, and this inevitably invites comments, some of which are quite entertaining. So for the first time, we'd like to open the door into the screaming void we call the Echo Chamber. On Public Eye, Frank Marker writes, "Huge fan of Public Eye, as you can tell from my moniker. The ABC years are a wonderful slice of 60s TV drama. Shame there isn't more. Greatly looking forward to the Brighton years, which are my own personal fave of the entire series. Just discovered your channel via our Joe Ford podcast and will investigate your stuff more. By the way, I'm a huge gin fan too." On Hop 33, Edmund King says, "What is the point of discussing the episode?" While Andrew Glasgow commented, "Not an episode at all, just a few extracts. Thumbs down." Elaine Edgar was also unimpressed. I'm not happy that further episodes have to be paid for. This isn't an episode. Why do we need an explanation? We're not stupid. On Count Arthur Strong, Ian Morrison had this to say. I heartily laugh at some of the work. The rest I find mildly funny. Humour is different to different people. These sketches might be ripping at dementia sufferers, but that's life. My mother died after a very long struggle with dementia. The early days of her illness were similar to this, and I can look back at that period of her life with both sadness and pleasure at being there for her, and still enjoy these performances. Aunt Minehead wrote to say, I didn't get Count Arthur Strong at first, but I'm so glad I persevered. Hilarious performer. However, Georgina Stubbs wasn't happy. Searching for laughter, but instead discovered a miserable scientific rinse tainting Delaney's comic genius. Real people get through life learning to laugh at themselves and the idiosyncrasies of others. Dementia, which I strongly contend, or no dementia, Count Arthur Strong's radio show has brightened many of my dark days. Peter Nixon had a stern rebuke. The fact that you sum it up by saying it's just shit tells me everything I need to know. Hardly a startling and insightful comedic analysis from two great minds. Who told you that it would be a good idea to do a podcast? This episode at least is a dreadfully miserable affair. This sort of humour is obviously not your cup of tea. Why waste time talking about it when you have nothing interesting to say and have to resort to bad language? And Jimmy Nellis got straight to the point. Dear Maverick Productions, you've got this one completely wrong. You have no sense of humour at all. Your show is useless. Winedrinker69 poured this into the comments section. Wow, I honestly thought that talking out of your arse was physically impossible. While 354SD observed, this review is awful. Phil Davis had Count Arthur strong views of his own to share. Why have they got a person with absolutely no sense of humour commenting on a comedy show? Totally inappropriate choice. He might be better suited as a reviewer of gardening or cookery programmes, where there's no chance of him encountering anything even mildly funny. Mal P78 had this diagnosis. Being a medical man, Simon, you should be aware that you're suffering from Count Arthur Strong derangement syndrome. Listening to your level of irritation suggests that you have reached stage 4. For the sake of your health, I urge you to stop listening to Count Arthur Strong, even if asked to do so for programs like this. YP77738YP77739 had this witty riposte. The funniest thing I've heard in the past 30 years, what miserable gits. The sort that think there's nothing amusing about a bloke dressing up as a woman. Dave Spaceman Carpets piled in with this. Fuck all to do with dementia. Unless you're talking about yourself. If you stop saying about the other people you showed Arthur's comedy show to get their opinions, proves that you have an issue and no one else. It's very single-minded and not using your other thoughts on the mind of others. Absolute pillowcase. And David Moore simply said, two up their own arses, Guardian reading twats. Well, thanks for listening. After that, I think we need a little drinky. Tonight we have got Wicked Wolf, Exmoor Gin. It's 42%, and the info bollocks tells us Wicked Wolf Exmoor Gin is a combination of 11 select botanicals that finely balance fresh citrus and spicy pepper notes with the unique flavours of juniper and coriander to produce a classic premium spirit, made from botanicals distilled on Exmoor in small batches, delivering a smooth, clean, dry, yet gutsy gin.
Gutsy? Not sure we've had a gutsy gin.
I don't think we have had a gutsy. We have plenty of gins that have unique flavours in, I notice.
And plenty that have no flavour.
Yes.
Right, so let's see what this is.
Well, sniff. Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. That's oddly botanical, but I can't really get a fix on it.
I'm getting outdoors from that, but... And yet when you taste it...
It tastes very odd and almost soapy. It leaves a strange aftertaste.
I suspect you're not going to relate to this analogy, but oh my god, this is the oddest thing I'm ever going to compare it to.
I think that's unlikely.
Okay, this reminds me of Sainsbury's Blue Bubble Bath from when I was a kid.
Hence the soapy flavour.
Yes. We've never had a soap gin before.
Oh, no, you've had one that had a soapy aftertaste.
Oh yeah, reminded me of soap powder, yeah.
I'm not wildly keen on this. I don't particularly like drinks that taste of soap.
That's really odd. It's not outright bad, it's just not very good. Either that or it's just too weird.
I don't think it's very nice at all. It's a 2 from me.
Yeah, it's a 2 from me as well. God, a bubble bath gin. No, let's just... We'll rest that there. Shall we go downstairs?
Do Silurians like soap?
I don't know. Spaff! Yes, we have 2 glasses of gin for you to try. Would you like to?
Very well.
We're underground, so might like distant soap. That's a reference that probably only Andy Trowbridge will understand.
Well, I'm guessing you didn't like that. Right, okay, no problem. What are we rescuing tonight?
Why has he got bubbles coming out of his third eye?
He doesn't look well.
I hope you haven't poisoned our Silurian.
He doesn't sound well.
Give him some crisps.
No!
Ooh, he doesn't even want crisps.
Poor Spaff. Oh, never give a Silurian Exmoor gin. What are we rescuing?
Spaff by the looks of things, but this is a comedy sketch show, so I think I should rescue another comedy sketch show, and I would like the missing bits of At Last the 1948 show, which was...
It was a precursor to Python.
It was a precursor to Python. There were a number of precursors to Python, but this is the one that John Cleese and Graham Chapman were in, alongside Marty Feldman, Tim Brooke Taylor, and it's where the very original Four Yorkshiremen sketch comes from.
Is it
the Python one was a remake, and it's actually got a pretty good survivability. Most of it survives, but there are missing bits. The stuff that I've seen, some of it doesn't work for a modern audience, some of it is side-splitting. So I would like At Last the 1948 show, please.
Well, I'm going to shut the door on the Black Archive and move us next door into the Imaginarium. This is the repository of things which don't exist, but we would quite like to in the real world. But I would like a immaculate box set of a sitcom from the early 90s called Ain't Misbehaving, with Peter Davison and Nicola Paget. It revolved around a stationery shop owner whose wife is having an affair, and the wife of the man she's having an affair with meeting up with Peter Davison to try and catch them out. It doesn't sound very interesting, but it was just a lovely, gentle little sitcom on Sunday night. It ran for 2 series. I really, really enjoyed it. So that is what I would like to pull out of the Imaginarium, a DVD release of that. Are you familiar with that at all?
I know of it, but I don't think I've ever seen any of it.
I watched it on this was during a bit of a Doctor Who renaissance for me, because there was a repeat season on in 92, 93, and it sort of catapulted me back all the way back to my childhood, 6, 7, 8 years ago. The nostalgia wave hit me, and that was the start of my DVD collection, my VHS collection.
I was just in 93, I'd have been living in Newcastle, and it was a house without a telly, or a complete roof.
A squat?
That was the squat.
No, that was the squat.
Of Squatter's Cocktail fame.
Of Squatter's Cocktail
fame.
fame.
From memory, tastes nicer than this.
Should we make some Squatter's Cocktail? I've got sherry, and I've got lemonade, and I've got, I'm sure somewhere in the house, some cough mix.
No. For 2 reasons. 1, I have a medical licence to protect. And 2, it has to be the cheapest ratgut netto sherry imaginable for it to work.
It's Aldi sherry.
Nowhere near cheap enough.
To round things off, we have the second of our mini-episodes. This one was recorded on the 9th of May 2021 and looks at Adam Adamant Lives starring Gerald Harper, who died in August last year, aged 96. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Exton Moss Experiment. I'm Ken Moss.
I'm Simon Exton.
This time we're going to be watching an episode of Adam Adamant Lives. Before we do that, we have the usual bits of housekeeping. It's time to get out the tonic screwdriver and have a gin.
Splishy, splishy.
This time we're on Haysmith's Cucumber and Lime Gin, which is one of the Aldi own brand range.
And they're generally very nice.
They are, on the whole. The info bollocks says the elegantly smooth and complex taste you experience when you sip Haysmith's Cucumber and Lime flavoured gin is best described as fresh summer garden flavours with a citrus bite, intertwined with juniper botanicals, resulting in a fresh, light gin with a citrus finish. Well, that's a very floral description. Does it marry up? It's slightly green in the glass. It is, isn't it? I'm not getting the right look. No, not. Anyway, eyes down, dive in. Good God. Wow.
That's quite cucumbery.
That is.
I mean, I like this, but I like cucumber, I think, more than you do. It's quite sweet as well. Not getting a lot of the lime.
Oh, I am.
It's there.
It's tempering, yeah, but...
This is really nice.
It is really nice.
This is well blended. It's a couple of flavours that I like. You can still taste the gin underneath it. Gives you a little bit of a tingle on the tongue afterwards. It's a very summery drink.
It is. It's a touch on the cloying side. Just ever so slightly.
Oh, you're a hard man to do this. I think this is lovely.
See, we've had a couple of cucumber gins. Aldi also do their Hendrick's knockoff, Harrison. Now, that's more to my taste. I must admit, I do like the cucumber. The lime in this, it's, like you said, very well blended, and it's a nice compliment. But
and it's quite sweet. It's a 4 from me.
Just cruising in the 3 territory, I think. It is nice. You wouldn't be disappointed if somebody put a glass of this in front of you, as the good doctor has just done. But I would probably lose the lime and just have a standard cucumbery gin.
No, you see, I think the combination works very well and very nicely. But as I said before, you're allowed to be wrong.
Well, grab your glasses. Let's go into the under gallery at Podcasting House and open up the Black Archive. This is our repository of all things that are lost, from film, television and radio. What are you rescuing this time?
Well, this is a 1960s spy drama-y thing that we're going to watch, and a very popular spy and crime drama from the 1960s was Ghost Squad, every episode of which survives. I think it ran for 3 seasons. It was an ATV production. It ran from 1961 to 1964. The first 2 seasons which fully exist were under the strand Ghost Squad, and I think there are 39 episodes of that. There were a further 13 episodes as Ghost Squad GS5. Nick Craig, played by Michael Quinn. After he left, it was rebranded as GS5, and there are very few film inserts for it, but none of the 13 episodes exist. Ghost Squad was an interesting little series because it was a little bit like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was supposed to be, in that there wasn't any specific lead character in every case. And the organisation had a number of agents, and there are episodes where Nick Craig doesn't appear because for whatever reason it's more appropriate to send a different agent or group of agents. I think Network have put Everything Surviving out on DVD. It's a great little series. There's a wonderful episode with Honor Blackman in the guest cast. We should do that at some point, but GS5 is my choice back from the Black Archive.
It sounds very much your thing, doesn't it? Well, I'm going to pick something which, to be honest, I'm surprised we've never actually touched on before. It's the missing episodes of The Army Game. Now, this was a fortnightly sitcom broadcast live in the early days from 1957 to 1961, and it
starred William Hartnell.
It starred William Hartnell as the sergeant.
It was a group of national servicemen, wasn't it?
They were, yes. William Hartnell played the Sergeant Major, but there's over 100 episodes missing. And I think that went on, if I'm right, that span off into Bootsy and Snudge, didn't it? Which I don't know anything about.
I've seen an episode of. There was one repeated. Was it part of the BBC 50?
I don't know. I know it was a spin-off, but I don't know anything about it.
A long time ago. They went to work as night receptionists in a hotel or something like that. It's a long time since I've seen it. I don't remember being particularly impressed when I saw it.
I suspect it's one of those things that I'd find mildly diverting, but wouldn't entirely be my thing. Could be wrong.
Well, I mean, National Service is one of those very of its time things that I think you a lot want to bring back, don't you?
It's nothing to do with me. I'm interested in the financial side of things. Anyway, yeah, it's a...
So's our current government.
I would like to... you're not going down this route. I'd like to see more of William
Censored
Hartnell.
on my own podcast.
I'm slamming the door shut on the Black Archive. Leave your views behind.
Oh, I'm not sure Spaff wants them.
So here we are back in the viewing room, and it's time for an episode from the first series of Adam Adamant Lives.
I think he's very nationalist.
It's called D for
Salurin Super Alice.
I'm determined to get through this. D for Destruction, Ron VT.
My dear Miss Jones, would you kindly control yourself and explain exactly what you're doing here?
I thought this meant you really were a colonel. Can I come?
Come where?
A fancy dress ball. You win easy. All you need is a whip and a couple of lions.
The whip is a very good idea. I take your point, Sims.
I mean, you're actually going out in that?
I certainly am, Miss Jones, and I would be very grateful indeed if you could conceivably arrange to call at some other time.
He's gone completely round the twist. He always said he might.
That happens to be the original ceremonial dress of the 51st Yeomanry, and you happen to be looking at the commanding officer.
Oh, I see. So you're on a job.
I am merely paying a visit to my old regiment.
Oh,
Miss
come
Jones.
off it. There'll be Chelsea pensioners by now.
Sims, could you conceivably arrange for Miss Jones to have a cup of tea and a bun? A Chelsea bun would be apposite, I think.
Right, well, that was D for Destruction. I have only really been introduced to Adam Adamant properly recently. We've done a full...
yesterday?
For the purposes of the recording.
Oh, sorry, do I need to be a bit clearer? Yesterday.
Because I've seen an episode before, but we've binge-watched quite a few this weekend, and I've loved them.
And actually, the pilot isn't the best episode. It's a good episode, it's a good introduction, but what comes after it is so much more fun.
Well, the ones that we've watched I've adored.
And most of them, absolutely beautiful picture quality.
Should we tell the boys and girls at home what it's about?
I'll go on then.
Well, Adam Adamant is an Edwardian adventurer.
It says Victorian up there.
It does say Victorian on the DVD menu screen, but he really isn't. He's from 1902, and he ends up fighting his nemesis and getting entombed in a block of ice, which then gets unearthed in 1966. He's defrosted and takes up his swashbuckling ways. So it's basically 1960s crime fighting, but from a 1902 perspective. He's terribly gentlemanly and everything's done properly.
It's all about honour.
It is.
He's assisted by a young lassie called Georgina Jones, who is very 60s
hippie chick. Well, not so much hippie chick, but...
66, hippies were a couple of years later, and more an American thing. But she's definitely swinging London. And a Limerick spouting butler.
Played by Jack May.
Yeah. Before we say what this episode is about, I think it's quite nice to recognise that this is actually a found episode, because when the Gods of Time Screen published their BBC Archive holding list, this was a missing episode. And although Adam Adamant Lives has a pretty good survivability for a mid-60s series, currently all but one episode of the first series survive, and 2 episodes from the second series survive. 2 of those existing episodes have been recovered. And back in 1988, I think it was, when there was wild excitement that 4 episodes of the previously completely missing Doctor Who story, The Ice Warriors, turned up in a cupboard in Villiers House. There was a 5th film can there as well, and that contained Adam Adamant Lives, D for Destruction.
Oh, this is the one of those.
This is the one that was recovered. It's one of the reasons that we picked this one to do. The other being that it has, in amongst its guest cast, Patrick Troughton, and this was transmitted a week before Power of the Daleks.
with very different hair, and you have just informed me today that he was wearing a wig for the first part of his run as Doctor Who.
Yeah, and then he grew his hair out.
And I wasn't aware of that until today.
Yes, we've also seen the Champions this morning, and he had very, very Tremaine hair, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Close cropped all over, including the beard.
A bit sort of Fidel Castro.
I mean, I don't really associate military with full beard.
Well, no, it's not really, but Castro sort of had a crack at it.
But he wasn't English.
No, he wasn't. He was one of those foreign wallers.
Right, so the plot is that Adam Adamant had a military commission as a volunteer in a particular rifle regiment, which he never actually gave up. So technically he was still on the army list. This regiment has now become a TA regiment and is about to be disbanded. Has had a number of unfortunate accidents recently with sort of people getting hit by tanks and getting caught in crossfire and training exercises. And we do see, at the beginning of the episode, a private who says he's not prepared to go along with whatever scheme the Sergeant Major that regiment is cooking up, and is court-martialed and shot. Big Chief Army Blokey, played by Patrick Troughton, sends Adam Adamant to look into the regiment. And there's quite an interesting step in heights, isn't there?
Because, there is.
It's very clear in the scenes between Gerald Harper and Patrick Troughton that Gerald Harper is an awful lot taller. And you think, oh, he's quite tall. Until you see him with Ian Cuthbertson, who is just head and shoulders above him. And Ian Cuthbertson is playing the colonel in charge of this regiment. It turns out that Adam's rank was the same, but because he has longer service, he technically outranks him. And there's some sort of plotting going on between this colonel and his sergeant major. Georgina Jones turns up and flirts with one of the soldiers to find out where they're going on exercise that evening. The sergeant major gives orders to one of his minions that Adam should be shot while he's investigating the firing range. Adam turns the tables, manages to incapacitate his assassin, goes to find the colonel and the sergeant major, who are busy briefing for the exercise they're going to do that evening, which is taking over a nearby missile base. Adam tells them, that's terribly not on, it's treason, treason, old boy. And points out that somebody's just tried to kill him. They go down to the rifle range and they find the soldier who had tried to shoot him, that Adam said he's incapacitated with a bayonet in his back. So Adam is put under arrest and tied up until the next morning. The regiment goes off to do this assault on a missile base. The colonel believes that it's all being done as a publicity thing to demonstrate that the TAs are as good as anybody else and the regiment should be kept going, and believes that there's blank weapons in all of the guns. What's actually happening is that the sergeant major and the enlisted men have decided that they're just going to take over the missile base and use it to extort money out of the government by threatening to blow up London. Georgina helps Adam escape from regiment headquarters, goes to the missile base. Adam goes in and faces off against the sergeant major, aided by the colonel, who at this point has realised that he's been made the scapegoat because there are written plans and orders for this exercise that he's devised. So there's a big gunfight. Pretty much everybody gets shot, except for Adam.
Obviously.
Including Coronation Street blokey.
Alf Roberts.
Yeah. And then, in the meantime, Georgina has persuaded the guards at the gate that they need to come and help Adam Adamant. They turn up just as he's sorted everything out. The phone's ringing, and Adam asks Georgina to answer it, answers it, and there's the implication that she's ended up talking to the Prime Minister.
As with all the other episodes,
that was rather fun.
It was a lot of fun and very enjoyable. There's a big fight at the end, and then they just walk off.
But that's how all episodes happen. Getting knocked unconscious and getting a flashback to Louise betraying him gets a little irritating after a few episodes.
That was one thing. I do think they might be flogging that one a little bit hard now.
Yeah.
Because it is exactly the same footage every time.
Yes.
I've mentioned this in other things, but he does get knocked unconscious in every episode by, at least once, by a listless chop to the back of the neck or his shoulder or something.
I mean, he's going to end up with Parkinson's disease later, isn't he? He's going to end up like Muhammad Ali and punched on him. Well, you get brain damage. It's not a good thing to happen.
It's just the fact that this chopping somebody on the shoulder thing apparently knocks you out. But yeah, it's such a fun series, but it's well acted. He's perfectly cast in the role. He's really, really good at it.
Yeah, and looks the part.
In fact, all three of the leads, or the regulars, she's very good. She's not just your typical Dolly Bird. She's very pretty, of course, but She's actually very good in the part.
Yeah. And one episode that we saw last night was Black Echo, which to my mind is the best episode of the entire surviving run. And she puts in a blinding... I mean, everybody in Black Echo puts in a blinding performance.
The film print quality is also, generally speaking, for the ones we've seen from Series 1, extremely good. That one was a little bit more ropey, but if it was...
But that'll be an overseas sales print.
Yeah, that's not an original, but certainly the first episode was...
It was absolutely crystal clear.
It seems unlikely that it's 35mm, but even at 16, it's in wonderful condition.
Well, 35mm would have been the transmission format.
Maybe around this time. This is 66. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because things like Power of the Daleks 5, Wheel in Space 5... There are about half a dozen Doctor Who episodes that were transmitted from film, and it's 35mm film.
Yeah, it is. But it was a definite step up from the old.
Yeah.
Because there was I can't remember. It was one of the Troughton ones, but that was a definite step up. I think it was Power of the Daleks 6.
There's about half a dozen, and they were lodged in the film and videotape library, and that's why there are certain orphan episodes. I think Wheel in Space 6 was one of them. Most of them survive. The Power of the Daleks one obviously doesn't.
Regrettably.
I can't remember what else. Underwater Menace 3, maybe? That might be why that survived on its own.
I wouldn't like to say. It's all documented in the wonderful book Wiped by Richard Molesworth, which for any archive TV enthusiasts, that's really well worth tracking down. What an excellent book. It's not only primarily about missing episodes of Doctor Who, but it's a very good overview of how television was made and archived at the time.
Space Pirates 2 might have been one because of the amount of model work that was in it.
Yeah, and in fact the model work footage, that turned up separately in absolutely immaculate condition. But yes, we are veering slightly off.
We are, yes.
Off topic from Adam Adamant. So we shall wrap up at this point. But Adam Adamant Libs, that's really, really worth your time for a slice of good 1960s telly. I adored that.
Yeah, very well worth seeking out.
So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye now.
That's the end of this year's scrapbook. Hope there was something there to entertain you, and if not, you can always leave us a review on YouTube. Coming up next time are 2 episodes where we guest on Very British Futures, hosted by Gareth Preston. Simon's up first discussing Sapphire and Steel, and it's my turn the week after, when conversation turns to Terrorhawks. Until then, thank you as ever for tuning in to our nostalgic witterings. We'll be back soon. Ta-ta. The Exton Moss experiment featured Simon Exton and Ken Moss. All featured soundtracks are the property of their respective producers, and no infringement of copyright is intended. Title music was performed by the BBC Symphony Orchestra, and the programme was produced by Maverick Productions. For more information, please visit maverickproductionsuk.blogspot.com or find us on social media.